and the coach aligns with the GM, then Blueberry will guide the team, and Petro will wax steam. This is the dawning of the age of Binnington, age of Binnington, 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 Edmonton and Parade go, O'Reilly and Terrace King go. No more Bulls on goals and dreaded two goalies. Shutouts and winning streaks. Fans.
Hawaii Blues fan, we're bleeding blue with you. Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues!
The age of Binnington, Binnington, Binnington. Aloha! Am I freaking happy right now? Oh yeah! I don't care that my internet's not working right. I don't care that it's going slow and I look stupid and I look dumb. But oh yeah, baby, we got. Oh yeah, baby, we got Binnington, Binnington. That's right. Jordan Binnington has signed with the Blues a 6-year contract. 6-year contract worth $6 million per year. $36 million. Lance the Scott, you had it on the nose 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, you and me released an article and we said, this is what it should be. 6 years, $6 million, $6 mil per year. That's what we were looking at. That's what we were thinking. And absolutely, that's what it is. Hey, I didn't get a chance to share this out, but share it out. Let people know. Come watch the show. This is Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, and yes, I am absolutely happy. And I know I'm on somewhat of a delay. I apologize. I don't know what's going on with my internet. I'm burning up in my house. Got to get some air going on, but I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I want to know what you guys think. Talk to me. Tell me, tell me, tell me, tell me, tell me. Tell me what you guys are thinking. This is big, big news. Big news, guys. Gary is saying, giving me the aloha. Oh, man, this is great. Kyle, good to get it done. Kyle, I met somebody else was messaging me that's also in Alaska. I'm hoping that he gets on. Roland saying he shared it a lot. Brewster, good. This is huge for our Blues. We get a goalie for another 6 years at $6 million. That's, look, if he's on the market, he's an $8-9 million guy, and we can't afford him, right? At some point, Binnington said, this is where I want to be. I reached out. I absolutely reached out to Mike Liut, his agent, but he declined coming on, said maybe another time. Hopefully he'll come on soon. And you know what? I'm just going, for the fun of this, to show you. I don't know if you can see it. Not a great, but that's Mike Liut that texted me. It's green, so you can't see some of it, but really great. Let me let him know. Thank you. Let's set something up soon, and I appreciate you guys getting this deal done. There you go, man. So yes, I am talking to Mike Liut. So, yes, it's a great contract. Great contract. Great contract. You know, Matt, I disagree. This was the right time. You had to do it now. That man hits the open market, we are dead. We cannot afford him, right? You know, just because the numbers don't show it, he has had a pretty good season. And I'm absolutely fantastically good about that happening. You know, this is a great news. This is something, this takes a weight away from the team. Now, if you remember going into that playoffs, going into the bubble playoffs, there was a weight on the team, and it was Pietrangelo and his contract, right? And it weighed on that team. And maybe, you know, I don't know if the players felt it, but the fan base felt it. I'm sure management felt it. That weight was there. This weight has now been lifted off the team. There is nothing better than lifting that weight off the team going into the playoffs. This is good news. This isn't a master. This isn't a Carey Price contract. This isn't a Vasilevsky contract. This isn't a Bobrovsky contract. This is a legitimate goalie style contract. This gives you money to get a better backup if you need it. This is some really good stuff. Ashley Jones agrees with me that we needed to get it done. Desmond Day, great extension and will bring momentum. And even if he isn't a Venenza candidate, he still puts in the work. Absolutely. Dan Ferris definitely ends the rumors of him going home to Toronto. Yeah, it does. At some point, you are what the numbers say you are, but glad it's done. You know, yes and no on that. And Bob, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Maybe this was affecting play, being in contract talks, and that's a possibility. It could have been two. You know, it could have been something there. Dan Ferris, I doubt that. Usually it's the agents doing the work and talking to, and the player going along the way. That's a good point. It is. We got a good backup that will be up soon. That's true. And so if we've got a couple of backups that are coming up for cheap money, that's money to spend elsewhere. That's money to spend on defense. That's money to spend in the middle six. You know, I think bottom six were good. I think top six were good. We could always use a middle six in there. Hoffman's on a 1-year deal at $4 million. Is he going to sign for more for that? I doubt it. So, you know, you're going to lose that. Do they want to pay him more than that? Not good. You know, Husso's got another year on that contract. He's got 2 years. He's got this year and next year. So at the under money, we've got, Schwartz and Dunn to sign. There you go. Well, Dunn's not as worrisome because Dunn is on a RFA and he's arbitration eligible, but he's not going to get whatever he's asking. They're not going to go. He's not going to get close to what he's asking. That's something they'll find a middle ground there. We have a good behind him as well. Yes, you're right, Ashley. We do. This is fantastic, big, strong, great frickin' news for the Blues. Yep. But he doesn't start until next year. He's 2 years away. He's the guy that comes up after Husso's contract ends. That's where I think Colton Ellis is. And if you want to know more about Colton Ellis, go check out Blue Notes podcast. They just did an interview with the kid. I'm so jealous of him. I'm going to have to try and get him myself. But, you know, great job, guys. It was a really good interview. Smart kid. You get what you see. Go out there and check out the Blue Notes podcast and that interview. I am stoked. Oh, okay, Ashley, I'm with you. I'm stoked. This is the best news. Hey, I got somebody that wants to come on. Give me just a moment. Copy the clipboard. Let me take care of this. And I will be bringing on a guest. I'll let you know who that guest is when he gets in the window. This is great. This is great. Guys, you cannot Just hope they decided. Just hope they didn't. Next contract. Hey, I'm sorry, Carl. At $6 million, that's not an overpay. This guy's, look, we've talked about this. This has been talked about till we're blue in the face. Let me bring in my buddy, my pal, my friend, Mr. Tom Franklin. Are you as excited and as happy as I am, Tom?
I'm getting there. I say this with a little bit of baited optimism because, Guy, we've been down this road with Blues goaltenders before, in the very recent past. It is very, very hard for a first reaction, at least, to be really enthused that your team's giving a Blues netminder a 6-year, $6 million per year average annual value contract. It's very difficult, but you know what how Binnington is different than all the other goalies? Here, let me show you here, right here. There we go. See, you see this picture right here? All right, count.
I didn't mean to cut you off there, but I thought it was...
Fine. No, and of course, there's also, this as well. This is my Binnington. Oh, yeah. This is my reminder. Count your blessings as you... show off your Binnington there as well. I got mine here as well.
Yeah, but mine's prettier.
No, it's not. But regardless, here is a reminder, Blues fans. Yes, we have been down this road before with Blues goaltenders. Roman Turek, Brent Johnson, Chris Osgood, Yaroslav Halak, Brian Elliott, Patrick Lalime, Manny Legacy, Jake Allen, even though he redeemed himself at the end. We have not had stability in between the pipes since Grant Fuhr. Period. End of story.
Yes, I agree.
And we used the last of Fuhr's magic. So that's the only reason why he didn't stick around for longer than he did. He was had a lot of miles on him at the time.
Hey, you know what? He was mad. Grant Fuhr, and I have it on video. He was upset. He wanted to retire a Blue. He loved St. Louis, did not want to leave, and was upset that they did not want to sign him.
Yeah, he got traded to Calgary. Yeah, exactly. But with Binnington, look, he got you guys a cup. He is a fairly stable goaltender as goaltenders go. Yes, he has his ups and downs. Name a goalie that does not have ups and downs. Okay, it's goaltending. Goaltending is voodoo. It's it's going to be really hard to find a balls out. Game 1 to game 82, just absolute stonewall for the entire season. You're going to have ups and downs. Binnington this year, he's a little down, but you know what? He's not doing bad. 269 goals against average, a .908 save percentage is not terrible. Is it top 5? No. Is it top 3? No. Is it top 10? Well, probably not this year. But you know what? It doesn't matter because he is fairly reliable. He is
average GAA in my eyes is 3.0. That's average. That's an average goalie. If you're posting a 3.0, you're average.
Especially this year.
If you're posting a 2.0 or less, you're elite.
Yeah.
So being in that 269, 250, I'll take that.
It's fine. Okay, we were talking about, when I say we, I mean myself and Mason, Blues Fan Reacts on the Blue Notes, we were talking about the future in goaltending, because of course on Blue Notes we had Colton Ellis on our show. We went live with him Sunday. I touted it
before you came on.
Yes, and great kid, by the way. Go check that out if you can, if you want to see the future of Blues goaltending. But because of this contract, it's going to be way off in the future now, because the way the contract is structured, again, 6 years, $36 million total. The actual payout is, it varies year to year, but the key components here, number one, no signing bonus, which again, we know Doug Armstrong does not like signing bonuses. Yes. But the key here to me is the fact that he does have a no trade. It's a full no trade for the first 3 years. And then after that. And then after that, it goes to like an 18 team, then a 15 team, and then a 10 team to end his contract. So they're basically giving Jordan Binnington the ball for the next 3 years. They are saying for the next 3 years, sit pretty, sit comfortable. We're not trading you. We're not going to do anything to you. You are the guy for the next couple of years. Now, after the 3 years, maybe Joe Hofer's ready to go. Maybe Colton Ellis is ready to go, but we're talking maybe. Maybe they're ready. Maybe they're ready. We have a Stanley Cup winning goalie right now.
For the next 3 years, dead set. No ands, ifs, or buts.
And I feel kind of dumb. Go ahead.
No, that no trade right there for the first 3 years is perfect. You've got Colton Ellis with the 3 years. You've got Husso with another year left on his. So you've got 2 solid backups set up to come in behind Binnington. Yeah. If Binnington gets to that point, let him put his no trades. People will still want him.
3 if you include Hofer. 3 if you include Hofer. 4 if and 4 if you still think Evan Fitzpatrick is a prospect.
Yeah.
It's an interesting, pipeline they have in goal for the Blues, but I feel kind of foolish, Guy, because I initially poached the question during Blue Notes, a past Blue Notes episode. If you had your choice, you can only resign one, Jaden Schwartz or Jordan Binnington. I had first said Binnington. And then last night with Mason, I changed my mind on that. And I said, you know what? The Blues, this Colton Ellis kid's going to be, he had a great year in the QMJHL, which is a high-scoring, high-tempo league. He had a sub-2 goals against average, which is phenomenal. So it's like, okay, the future is coming. Why not let Binnington go and maybe sign like a 2-year bridge guy to those guys, like a Freddie Anderson or something like that? And then I suggested, hey, keep Jaden Schwartz. He's the new Alex Steen, essentially. He is, the long-term warrior, does a little bit of everything right. Boy, do I feel stupid today, because next day they signed Jordan Binnington.
Well, I say this: don't feel stupid, and because you make good points. But here's the difference, and this is the difference. There's something in Binnington that every other goaltender that you mentioned earlier doesn't have.
Yeah.
And you know what that is? And it's not the cup you showed. It's not that.
Oh, okay.
It's the X Factor.
Yes.
He's got that je ne sais quoi, that confidence, that ability to say, he's got the Patrick Law. I can't hear Jeremy Roenick because my 2 Stanley Cup rings in my ear.
Yeah.
He's got that. And that's not, you know what? It's not, you can say those words, backing them up are different. He backs them up. This is the difference between Binnington and every other goaltender we've had till Grant Fuhr.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? Binnington's blood type is ice water. Yes. That's just because he has that ice water just courses through his veins and nothing bugs him except every now and then, like unless you start chirping him if you're the San Jose Sharks or if you're Kyle Clifford.
I got no issue with that.
But that's a good response, though. I mean, you want your goalie to stand up for for himself. You want your goalie to show that fire every now and then. When against the Sharks, it was a very difficult game. It was a ping pong battle back and forth. And Binnington got chased after 4 goals, but he didn't just go quietly into the night, as they say. He sparked his team, and it's just you're right about the X factor with Binnington. He gives the Blues something that they terribly lacked with Jake Allen, and that is just a radiant confidence in net. So much of a team and their overall team's confidence is really rooted in between the pipes. If your goalie is got his head screwed on right, if he's playing well, if he's making big saves, and he's given you a chance, to win games and be productive, it radiates. Jake Allen always kind of, he had the yips, and he never really, to me, exuded the type of confidence, the type of self-confidence that Jordan Binnington has. So lock that up. Give Jordan Binnington a contract just like Jacob Markstrom from Calgary. The exact same contract, 6 years, $36 million. Markstrom signed in the offseason. Binnington is better than Markstrom, at least statistically, in the last 3 years. So you could even argue that Binnington maybe got a little underrated. I mean, you had pointed out maybe he would get $8-9 million in the open market. Maybe 7.5 or 8 is kind of what I had pegged. Maybe if like Toronto, for instance, wanted to.
Toronto was going to overpay. Toronto was going to overpay. Toronto, if Toronto came in with an 8, he was going to ask for 9. If it came in at 7.5, he's going to ask for 8.5. He was going to get that money in Toronto. They would have overpaid. But I want to bring up, I know this is great, but this is a great question here. Why does he not like signing bonuses? And she's talking about Doug Armstrong.
Yeah.
The one thing about a signing bonus is that's money that you give that you never get back.
It's sunk money.
Yeah.
Yep.
If the player gets injured, if the player gets traded, if something happens, you don't get any return on that money at all, right? It's like paying. It's almost like a down payment. A lot of people don't like paying down payments on cars because when you take it off the lot, you lose that money. That's what a signing bonus is. It is a down payment that you will never, ever get back.
Yeah. By the way, Matt,
does that make sense, Tom?
It really does. It really does. By the way, I'm following some of your comments here, by the way. Matt,
I'm like behind it.
Matt MLO 12 says, Hofer looks good. Who's this Ellis kid? Well, Hofer got all of the buzz and all the hype from, the World Juniors a couple years ago. I mean, he carried that Canada team, on his back, essentially. He deserves, he's an exciting prospect. You should be excited about Joel Hofer. Colton Ellis, first of all, if you want to know about Colton Ellis, go to Blue Notes. We have an audio podcast. We have the Justin Falk Stan Club on Facebook. We have a YouTube as well. We interviewed Colton Ellis on Sunday to figure out why and how he possibly had a 1.89 goals against average this year in the QMJHL, why he almost set the QMJHL record in consecutive wins this year, and why he tied the QMJHL record for career shutouts with 17. The Q, again, I said it before, I'll say it again. The Q is, if you want to be a high-scoring, offensive-minded player and you're in Canada, get your ass to the Q, because that is the high up-tempo scoring league. That's where Sidney Crosby was. In fact, actually, Colton Ellis played on Sidney Crosby's team and Alexis Lafreniere's team. He talks about that on Blue Notes as well, and just about Lafreniere. He's, very interesting insight there. Colton Ellis put up numbers in the QMJHL that are prolific. And he was the 3rd round pick, so he wasn't like this 7th round guy. The Blues were high on Colton Ellis when they took him, and for good reason. And I think they're still high on him as well. But again, they're saying Jordan Binnington, you can stop turning your head and looking for Joel Hofer and Colton Ellis in the rearview mirror. Next 3 years are yours, and I think that's fair.
You know what? The other thing and this is a great comment. Robert Walken says, happy about this. Can we bulk him up 6'1", 175 pounds each? I talked to Darren Pang about this, about the goalies, and Darren Pang said there were some GMs out there that if they weren't 6'3" or taller, they wouldn't look at them. There are some. That's the thing about at him at 6'1". He is very athletic. He's very flexible. He's very moving. He can make those flipping over saves. He doesn't have to, because he gets himself in position to not have to make those saves.
Exactly.
And that's why a lot of people say that that you can't. Sorry, what am I trying? That when he does that, he doesn't make those saves. He doesn't need to, and that's the difference. Yeah. And Carl kind of talks about what I said. You can't put bonus money on the IR.
Yeah,
that's a really important point.
Yeah, but with Binnington's size, I mean, that's what he's used to. He is used to playing at 175 pounds. You bulk him up, you add muscle to him, or you add fat to him. Does he make those crazy saves that he did in Game 7 against Boston? I mean, it's like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And right now, Jordan Binnington is not broken at all. I mean, he, to my knowledge, has not had a real major injury during his time. I mean, he keeps himself very fit. I've seen him in the locker room, in the Blues locker room. Even though he's thin, he's built. That's 175 pounds of muscle. Okay, he's not just a beanpole. He takes care of himself. And as you said, Guy, yes, the current trend is to try to find 6'3", 6'4", or bigger goaltenders, because they just take up more space and they block more than nets. Darren Pang was 5'5". Yep. There was once upon a time
second shortest goalie in the NHL in all time.
Well, yeah, and he was a career backup, so I mean, I'm not saying he was Patrick Waugh or anything, but a lot of goalies, from the 80s and early 90s, you had a lot of 5'9", 5'11", 6-footers. I mean, not the whole idea of having a giant goaltender is fairly relevant. The big thing with goaltending, as you said, you can be as big as you want. If your positioning sucks, if you're not covering the near post on a wraparound, you can be 6'10" or 7 foot. Positioning is everything as a goaltender, and
absolutely.
And Binnington usually has a very good sense of where he needs to be.
Yeah, he does. And so I know when you first came on, you said that you were getting excited about this news. Well, I'm gonna let you get excited. I'm gonna help you get excited about this news.
All right, let's do it.
So you know how I am and how I think and how I feel about the Blues and how they sign guys and all that. It would take a lot to get me excited about them signing anybody. Period. Right? You know that. Even when we signed Krug, who was the first one saying, I'm not so sure about this, and I don't think Krug should be with Parayko. I think Krug should be with Falk. And who on this show told me I was a complete idiot about saying Krug should be with Falk? And damn if I wasn't right.
I didn't see Falk coming this year, and I've admitted that as such. That is why that is why our group on Facebook is now the Justin Falk Stan Club, because we submit to the greatness of Falk. I'm
not calling you out, Tom. I'm not. But I'm trying to set this up, right?
Yeah.
And I think you get that. I'm excited about this Binnington because Binnington brings that to the Blues. He's that spark. He's that. Now look, he didn't win the cup. He helped lead them to a cup. So did Tarasenko. So did Shin. So did Pietrangelo. So did Steen. So did so many others. But
yeah.
So I don't sit there and I'm not on. Remember when we first met, you guys were doing the who's the best Blue of all time?
Yeah.
And Binnington was up, and I said, I'm a Binnington fan, but I'm not a Binnington fan. Remember that?
I remember that.
That's what I'm talking about. So this here, Binnington is doing something that I think so many people don't understand. He's mentoring, right? Watch Husso the last couple of games. He's mimicking Binnington. Watch his glove. His glove before was here. Where's his glove now? It's sneaking up. It's not here, but it's sneaking up, right? He's getting comfortable. He's not leaving his glove down here and then bringing it up. He's getting much more comfortable pre-positioning it and jumping up.
Yeah, and Husso, he and you hit it on a good word there, comfortable. Of all goaltenders that we've seen before, who will you feel the most relaxed around? Probably Jordan Binnington. Because as you said,
breaking news for tomorrow night. Oh, this comes at a good time. I was working on this article. Fleury is on COVID protocol.
Oh no! It's Leonard time. Yeah, Robin Leonard time.
Yeah, I'm looking for. Hey, I'm a fan of his. I deal with mental illness, and I know you and me have talked about mental illness a little bit. What this guy's doing is amazing in my eyes. I'm absolutely on there. And Petro's out tomorrow too. That is a absolute. If he is back in Vegas, he will not be in St. Louis for either of the two games.
What about Stone? Have you heard anything about Stone? Because I heard he was dealing with an injury. Yeah.
No, I haven't. I've been working on that, and I got to double check because I'm working on an article because I don't think a lot of people remember that with Vegas coming up, and I'm trying to. Let me get back to the Binnington thing real quick.
Yeah.
What I was talking about was Binnington bringing that it factor to the Blues that we haven't had for so long. Look at what happened when Tarasenko came back. It wasn't just Binnington rose up. Everybody rose up. There are guys that have that factor about them that they can make everyone else better.
Yes.
By just being on the ice.
Yes.
Binnington has that. 6 years at $6 million is almost a steal.
Think back to Husso's first 2 games in the NHL. He got absolutely murdered. 5 goals, 4 goals. And you know what? He looked nervous as hell. He looked like a fish out of water. He looked like he was just dropped into a completely new planet, with just a goalie stick. He looked so out of place. Playing, having Binnington as his battery mate, Mr. I'm not nervous, Mr. I have ice water in my veins. You can see now that Husso looks finally calmed down. He looks confident, and gosh darn it, he actually looks like he kind of belongs in the NHL, doesn't he?
Yes, now he does. Now he does. And that was the biggest question at the beginning. That was one of the big questions coming into this goaltending. What Binnington were we going to get? And who was Husso?
Yeah.
Right? And now we know we got the Binnington of old. And look, I know his numbers don't show it, but he has been the best player on the ice.
Yeah.
By far. And it's the eye test. When I look at the games that he's played in, even the games he lost, the game he lost against, that first game he lost against Colorado, giving up the 4 goals, that team did not show up on ice.
Yeah.
He showed up on ice. It should have been 6 or 8-0 by the time. And I'm sorry about my internet, so I know I might be off a little bit what you guys are seeing. I apologize.
He's really excited, guys. He's really excited. He just going that. He's so excited about Binnington.
No, this is top-notch good news, and I hope you're now getting excited, because if I'm getting excited about it, there's a reason behind it.
By the way, I'm going to make your smile even wider here, because I have a Ville Husso story I got to share with you. I'm only going to share it here.
Okay.
So the Blues this week had a auction for Blues for Kids of their game of a recent game worn jersey.
Yes,
I was about 80 minutes away from winning a Ville Husso jersey.
I seen that.
And guess what kind of jersey it was, Guy?
I know what it was. It
was the reverse retro, which I don't know what got over me, Guy, but I was very, very close. It was either going to be, I also bid on De La Rose as well, but I got beat on De La Rose, and I figured, you know what, Husso, that's going to be a 1 of 2, because there's only 2 goalie cut reverse retro Husso jerseys on the planet. Yeah. Okay, and now some other guys got it, but I was this close to finally admitting defeat on the reverse retro, but nope.
Had you won it, I was going to talk to you about possibly you donating partial of it and me paying for some of it for the contest. So I might have taken some of it off of you.
That could have been something. That could have been something, but unfortunately, I don't have $800 just lying around, and jersey money.
I know.
Yeah.
But hey, if the next one that comes up, let's look at doing something like that. Maybe we can, because I have a sponsor for next month's contest.
Do you?
Yes, I do. I have a construction company that is going to sponsor next month's contest by buying the prizes. I have a budget. It is a good budget. It is more than what I've been spending. So I have a couple of things that right now there is a chance, and I'm just saying a chance, that I could end up with a signed Jordan Binnington All-Star jersey.
Hey, there you go.
But if that doesn't come through, I got to look at something else. So I got to talk to my guy and see what he says. But yeah, there's some chance. And that's, the Husso story, that's great. And the thing that I wasn't planning on coming on today, but when this happened, I was writing. Same. And I just released an article.
I was driving.
I was just released an article on Torrey Krug that Brock Banner wrote for us. Brock writes like I do, guys. He's me, me and him are on the same wavelength. I'll start sharing that in the groups, and you're still okay with me sharing articles in your group, right?
Yeah, go for it. Absolutely.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Knock yourself out.
Yeah, just wanted to make sure. I know your group was changing a little bit, and just wanted to make sure that we were still on the right wavelength.
Yeah, go for it, man. Knock yourself out.
Yep, and I'm working on an article. I want to get it out tonight, tomorrow morning, about the game, and someone had mentioned earlier about, here it is, Matt Lowe did. Oh, my computer's jamming on me now. Okay. Matt Lowe mentioned about someone needs to beat Stone's ass. Absolutely.
Kyle Clifford.
No, I don't want it to be Clifford.
Oh, who?
Oh no, I want it to be a big defenseman, right? I want it to be either Scandella. I want it to be Falk. I want Falk to go out there.
Falk's not a well. He'll fight, but he's not a big guy.
I want a name. I want a big name.
What about Bortuzzo?
What?
Bortuzzo could do it.
Bortuzzo, yeah. Bortuzzo, I want a name to go. I don't want this to be us just taking their big guy out. I want this to be a name saying, you don't do that to Bozak. That was crap. Right? Bozak's still not skating. This guy got no punishment. None. And Bozak's still not skating. BS. 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 Tarasenko, go up there and knock him. You know what? Tarasenko do it. Tarasenko will fight.
That'd be interesting.
You know what, Tarasenko? Get an assist, get it a goal, and then in the third period, just go right up to Stone and throw a right hook to his face. Don't even cheap shot his ass. I don't care. I'll back you all day long if you do that because he deserves it.
Agreed. By the way, I'm checking out some of the other Facebook groups, and there's a lot of people that are saying that we're going to regret this signing in 2 years. The Blues naysayers have arrived.
But no, you're not going to regret it in 2 years because you only have 3 years of him. You have backups. You have guys behind him. It's $6 million. The amount to spend on goalies is $8 million. Right?
You're already paying him you're already paying him $4.5 million. Yeah. So you're adding another $1.5 million to that. You're basically adding a Carl Gunnarsson contract. Done. And Carl Gunnarsson's probably going to be gone after the season. So there you go.
Yeah.
Done.
Gunnarsson's not going to get re-signed. That's, Boom Boom's gone. And I wanted to write something about that, and I have it, and I still need to. But you know what? This is the thing that people don't get. You need to spend, and we've talked about this, and Lance has talked about this. The right amount to spend on goalies is $8 million. That's the number. If you're spending $8 million on your goalies, you're at the number. You're spending under it, you're doing great. You're spending over it, you're in trouble. Montreal, right, and a few others. $6 million, and we're spending less than $7 million on goalies. Less than $7 million. We are making $1.5 million, and we're a contender, not a pretender. Right? We're not in the middle. We're not in the middle. We are in that echelon of teams you talk about winning a cup.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree.
Right?
Yeah. By the way, in case you're wondering, Doug Armstrong just had a presser discussing the Jordan Binnington contract extension. In case you're wondering, if this has been percolating for a while, he says, no, quote, it came together really quickly when we started it. Jordan obviously is a top goalie in the league. He's got the pedigree of a champion. To have him locked up for the meat of his career, it's a good feeling. And that's the key point here, because you're pretty much, his prime years are coming up. The late 20s to early 30s, and he is locked up and done. No, don't womp that's a good thing.
Listen, that was the wrong button. That was the wrong button. No, this is the one that needed to come in there. This is what I was saying right at the beginning. This is the time to get him, and it's absolutely good news. You didn't overpay this guy. $6 million was the number. I'm okay with that. 6.5. I'd have been okay with that, right? And the heavier part of I haven't seen the structure, but from what you say, it sounds like the heavier part of what you're paying him is on the back end of the contract.
Middle to back end, yeah, that's right.
Okay.
It's $4 million the first year, $6 million the second, and then I think it's 7.5 for the middle years.
Okay, well, see, after that third year, if you trade him, okay, you still have the 6 years, but you're not paying it. You're not paying the high end of it. Somebody else is. No, this is a team-friendly contract. This is what the word out was. He would not sign as a team-friendly contract. Now, I did reach out to Mike Liut, and I asked him to come on, and he said not at the moment, obviously, perhaps another time, and I'm sure I'll get him. I'll hit him up and see if I can get it, because I want him to talk about this, because I think that he signed a team-friendly contract.
He did. He
Right?
did, and he did, and you know what? It's an important signing because of just what he means to this franchise. You know, he is forever going to be connected as a Blue. Once a Blue, always a Blue. He's going to be forever connected to that cup that he's holding above his head. You know, so yeah, lock him up. I'm completely in that category. Good deal. It's a team. It's a fair deal for both Binnington and the team, and it shows respect to the man that got you this.
Yep. And I agree. I agree with that. This is a good point. There's a good news because after the season, there's a lot of free agent D-men to choose from that'll supplement the core. That's a great point. And Ashley Jones is giving me the crap, me and my buttons. But you know what, Ashley? If I didn't make a mistake, it wouldn't be the Blue Note Fan Report.
That's true. We're professional broadcasters. Professional.
Yep, absolutely. And you know, we do the best we can. No, Tom, I'm excited, and I appreciate you coming on. This was, you know, I didn't plan on doing a show, but this was the right thing in the right time. And guys, I'm looking forward. Please check out the Blue Note Fan Report and the contest. Don't forget to get your picks in. It's back-to-back games. These games with the Knights. Do you mind if I talk about the Knights for a bit before we cut out?
Go for it.
These games against the Knights are freaking huge.
Yes.
Right?
Finally, top divisional competition here. We've been kind of floundering with the middle to lower rungs for a little while now. We're getting, you know, the California teams out of the way. The next two games against the Kings are the last two games against the Kings. But you're getting into the meat of the schedule. You got Vegas right here, right now. This will be a good test to see where the Blues are right now. You've got Colorado coming up. You've got Minnesota coming up. They look hungry this year. It is going to be, if you feel that like, I'm so tired of San Jose, I'm so tired of California teams, you're about to get your wish granted, okay? Because we're going to get some really good hockey here in the next month or two here as the Blues get into the meat, and I mean the venison meat of the schedule. Actually,
this is not even the meat. This isn't the meat.
Well, we're starting to get there.
Oh no, this weekend is filet mignon, dry aged for 6 weeks. Okay, that's what this is. You guys have to understand, right now, Vegas is the cream of the crop. Everybody's looking at Vegas. Vegas just lost 2 games in regulation to Minnesota. Minnesota looked good. Vegas didn't, right? But Vegas fought back in that game yesterday. I watched it, and Vegas fought back. There's a trend happening in hockey right now nobody's talking about, and that's 6-on-5.
Yeah.
6-on-5. Teams are scoring. Something's happening that teams are figuring out how important 6-on-5 is now. I think they're practicing it. I really think for a change that they're practicing it, that they're understanding it, and I love it. It changes. You're not seeing as many empty net goals, right? We are 1 point behind. 1 point behind the Knights, and I think they have 2 or 3 games in hand. 2 games in hand, if I'm right. 2?
I think so. That's correct. Yeah, I think
it's either 2 or 3.
2.
You win both of these games. You are now within 1 point of the margin, meaning they have to win both of their game in hands to pass you. Right? They have to win both of the games in hand to pass you. Or get 3 points to tie you.
And let me remind you that the Blues are at this point second in the division, right up there with Vegas, and they have 2 forward lines worth of players that are hurt, that are injured right now that they can't tap into. That is 6 forwards right now that the Blues cannot use. And a lot of them, you know, like your Tyler Bozaks and your Jaden Schwartzes, these aren't, you know, these aren't just your Jacob Delaroses. These are very important players, and they're getting by. And once again, with adversity, with major injuries, the Blues forge ahead.
Yep. Well, here's the thing. So you got the Knights, and then you play some of the California teams again, and then you play Minnesota in there. By the time you get to the straight up Minnesota Knights and Colorado games from the COVID games, now you're getting Thomas back. Thomas should be back by the end of the month. Right behind him is Barbashev.
Yep.
Bozak should be coming back. He skated the last couple he skated today. Who else is skating?
I think Sundqvist is actually supposed to be back this weekend.
Sundqvist back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right? Sundqvist back tomorrow. You have Walker, who did very, very well in his time up. You have Joshua, who is playing like he does not want to go to the minors.
He deserves at least a spot on the taxi squad now, at the very least.
I absolutely agree with you.
I made the comment the other night, by the way. He's been very good at faceoffs. Like, he's winning the majority of his faceoffs. He kind of reminds me of a Mike Eastwood. Eastwood was a face-off specialist, and that's why he played, so long for so many teams.
Do you know who he's been practicing with? And I know this for a fact.
O'Reilly?
Yep.
That's the face-off master right there.
Right. He's been, and I know this for a fact, even when they're not on the ice, they have done things when they have team act, they have worked on face-offs. Right.
That's amazing.
Scott says winning percentage is going to be key down the stretch. I do know that. I do, and I've been preaching that for a while. The NHL has come out and said they're going to do everything in their power to get every team to play every game.
And you know what the Blues are thinking about with all that, with the games that they're behind or maybe games that they're ahead of? 3 simple words: just win, baby.
Yep.
That's all. Just win.
Just win.
Let the rest sort it out. Okay,
yep.
It's almost like you need a calculus degree to figure out, some of these, standings and the schedules with all the COVID stuff that's going on. By the way, I hope that this isn't another Vegas outbreak with Fleury here. I don't, I guess they're going to go forward with the game. They'll test the players. But yeah, I hope.
Okay. There's a little difference between this one now and the original one.
Okay.
Right. And the original one happened at the beginning of the season when the COVID protocols were still kind of new and not completely understood, and how it spread was not completely understood. So when Pietrangelo came down with his symptoms, he got out before he started. While he was negative or non-symptomatic, he did not spread it. So that's the thing here. And now that they've changed how they're doing the stuff, it affects things differently. And since we're not in California, that would be the difference too. California, San Jose has some very lockdown rules. That's why one positive in San Jose will shut it down. So it has nothing to do with who they're playing. It has to do with local rules.
By the way, Mason, Blues Fan Reacts, has a theory for why Pietrangelo is not going to play this weekend. Coronavirus.
Yeah.
He's got Kyrou because the last time he played against the Blues, Jordan Kyrou, let Pietrangelo collect his jockstrap on the ice.
Yep. That was beautiful.
Absolutely burned. And you know what?
That was you know what? I wrote an article, and I think you remember this, and I said in that article, I wrote it like, who's going to lay out Pietrangelo? And people didn't like what I said. But I said, maybe Jordan Kyrou is going to speed right by him and put one in the net.
Bingo.
I'm proud of myself.
Thing of beauty.
This has been a lot of fun, Tom. Thanks so much.
It's positive. It's exciting.
Yeah, we needed this news. Here's the other thing. You know what's also perfect about this news, and we've talked about it, but we haven't talked about it, is the timing. This news coming out right now before the Vegas night games. Do you think that team's going to be lifted up a little bit?
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
The weight is off. And I don't know if you caught me when I first came on. I talked about this. During the playoffs, that weight of Pietrangelo was on that team. You could feel it.
And you know what? Binnington is rested. He has not played. Husso played on Monday. He got some rest, and he's going to come into Friday's game not just refreshed, but with a new contract. And I think we're going to see a big game from him Friday. By the way, Marianne Petro is hurt. By the way, we were just joking about the coronavirus. He took a slap shot. He blocked a shot Saturday, and I think his injury is related to that. They aren't saying what it officially is because they don't do that anymore, but it's probably related to that.
Yeah. Well, guys, I got to thank Tom for coming on and making me sound smart. That's really freaking hard to do. This is Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, and Tom, I don't care how much you hate this jersey right now.
Mm-hmm.
We got Binnington, baby, for at least the next 3 years. That is as huge as you're going to get.
You're my friend. Yeah, you're sticking around. Yeah.
This is Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, saying aloha, mahalo, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow on the pre-game show.
And always play to the whistle.